In today's video, we're going to be doing something quite different. First of all, this is the image we're going to be using as our reference. Usually on this channel, at first, we started modeling in Revit and then importing that Revit model into 3ds Max. Then we work on it in 3ds Max, okay, and we render. Then secondly, we started doing something else. We started, importing plans into Revit, with which we now use to model the space that we're going to render. And then, we did it quite different. The way we did it for interior was quite different from the way we did it for exterior. Now, in this particular video, for the first time, we're going to be modeling the space using this image. Okay, this image that I showed you as a reference. Okay, and at the end of the day, we are going to be creating something like this. I'm going to show you steps and the things you need to do and the process through which I do it. When it comes to using an image I got from Pinterest, or maybe your client sent you an image and said, okay, can we recreate this? I want to use this to do something. I don't know. But then the important thing for you to know is that you have to model a space using an image. I want to show you the steps and the things you need to do to be able to pull that off. Hello and welcome back to Simple or Difficult. My name is Chukwudonachie, okay? And in this channel, we teach architects how they can represent their idea using being compliant model and hyper-realistic renders, okay? This is the first video you're watching on this channel. Welcome. Kindly like and share this video if you find it helpful, all right? Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Now, without any further ado, let's jump right in and get this thing started.
All right, so the first thing I want us to take a look at is our unit setup, all right? Before you do anything, I want you to go to Customize, then click on Unit Setup. The metric, make sure it's on metric, and then select millimeters. In the system unit setup, also select millimeters, okay? And then say okay, and come out. Now, for the purpose of what we're going to do today, we're going to be using an image and we're going to be modeling creating the model from that image. So I am just going to bring in that image like so. I'm going to make this thing smaller. Yeah, so this particular image is the one we're going to be using. So I'm just going to drag it into this place. Now, when you drag it into this place, it is going to come out with this dialog box that is asking you what you want to do with this bitmap that you just dragged into this space. So first of all, you're going to uncheck this one. We don't want to use it as an environment map, but then we want to use it as a viewport background so we can model from it. So set it as a viewport background and then say okay. Okay, when you do that, it is going to bring out a squished view of that image for you. To fix this, we're going to go over to the render setup, and then under common, we're going to change this to default. That's the output size. We change it to default, and then we're going to type in the aspect ratio of this image. Well, let me bring it out again. The aspect ratio of this image, you can see in the dimension, you can see 736 by 920. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to type 736. On the other one, I'm going to type in 920. Right? And then I'm going to lock it. I'm going to close this now down for now. And I'm going to come over here and press Shift F on my keyboard. That is going to show you the safe frame where we are going to be working with. Now that is step one. The next thing we are going to do is, let me just make this big, Alt W on your keyboard to make it big. I'm going to draw a box now. Okay, I'm going to draw a box and I'm going to try my best to just tilt the box in the way that it's going to fit into the image. Now we're going to be scaling this work because this is an image that we just brought in here. We don't know how big our model should be. So we're going to find one thing in this scene that we think, okay, we can actually guess the height of it, or we know the height of it. In this case, I cannot use this sofa because this sofa is looking somewhat lower than the coffee table, or maybe it's the angle of projection. So it is now confusing me as to what it is. But then that dining table, we all know that dining table, an average dining table, 740 to 760 millimeters. But there's nothing stopping you from taking your own up to 800. This distance between 760 and 800 is mine. So for the purpose of what we are doing, let me just close this for now. I'm going to make the height of this box because we're going to use it to get the scale using that dining. I'm going to make the height. I'm going to make it 780, right? Now I'm going to zoom in, okay, using my middle mouse button, my scroll wheel. I'm going to zoom in till I get something that is close to what we are, the height of what we are having there, as you can see. Now that is looking, okay, it's looking, yeah, so I'm going to leave it like this. Now you can zoom, but then also you can use this zoom tool. You can use your scroll wheel to scroll in and out, or you can use this zoom tool here to zoom in and out to get a more refined view of what you're doing. All right, so I think this is right about it. I'm going to make this thing a little bit smaller, so just keep it focused on where the table is. So I'm going to leave this like this for now. Now, this is not going to be accurate. When we place our camera, it's not going to be accurate unless we match the perspective view. Okay, this image has an angle. Okay, it has a perspective angle, even though it is 1 point perspective. You can see that the lines here, they went a certain way, and that is what we're going to try and match. Okay, so that at the end of the day, we're going to get something that is really going to be nice. So I'm going to come over here to the utilities tab. In this, place, you see this tab. Under here, you're going to see perspective match. So I'm going to click on it. But when you click on it, nothing happens. If you want to bring out the lines you're going to use to align this thing, you have to come down here and you're going to click on it over here. Now, when you click on it over here, it's going to bring out 3 sets of line. All right. And each one has 2 in between, with which you're going to use to try and match the angles of this. So I'm just going to take this red one. All right. I'm going to match the angle like so. Then I'm going to take the other one. I'm going to bring it here. And then to the best of my abilities, I'm going to match it like so. So the green one, I'm going to keep horizontal. I'm going to keep this green one horizontal. Okay, so but for us to be very refined in what we're doing, we can actually use this pan zoom option to go into this image and set the lines as straight as we possibly can. Okay, like that. And then like this. Okay, so yeah, this particular place too. Yeah. So the other green line, we are still going to keep it straight. So just find, let's say this dining table. I'm going to use this dining table for it. Right. Cool. So these blue ones are meant to be straight. So it doesn't matter where they are. So far they are straight, like as you can see, they are cool. So I'm just going to come out of that pan zoom so I can move this dining table into a position. Okay, so now I'm going to, use the zoom tool a little bit to zoom out. And then position it. Cool. Now we have it like this. Okay. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to create camera for this view. Right now we are working from a viewport. That's the perspective viewport. Now I want us to create a camera for this view so we can move from here. So how do we do that? To come over here, you're going to see create corona camera from view. So once you click on it, you have your camera created for you, right? So that is that. Let me just quickly put this in a wireframe mode. There's something I want to check. I will tell you what that is shortly. All right, so you look at this box. As I come close to this place, you see that the angle kind of aligns to that place. So when I decide to take the box up, you see the angle also is aligning with the one at the top of that place. So that is what that perspective angle helped us do. All right. So for the purpose of what we are doing, I'm just going to set this thing back to 0. Okay, and then move it back to where the dining table is. I think this is it. All right, so hold on a minute. I'm going to, before we do that, I'm going to just skew the angle just a little bit because, yes, just like this. Because the other camera we just created now, I did not skew the angle. So the angle is not right. Okay, if I should say so myself, it's not right. So I want to use pan zoom, come close a little bit more so that I can get the angles right. So I'll move I cannot do that. But then I think it's right about. So I'm just going to create another camera. Right. So the next thing I want us to do, now we have 2 cameras. So I think we might have to delete one of them. Let's select one. Okay, this is the one we have to get rid of. So let's get rid of this one. Right? So yeah. Cool. Exactly. So I am going to now start modeling this interior, and I'm going to do that using a box. So I'm just going to draw the first line over here like so. Now, when you look at this, you notice something. You notice that the angle is not straight. Now I'm going to try and straighten it using the target. So with the target selected, I would move. Yes. Okay, now I'll select this box and move it backwards to where this line is supposed to be. Okay, now from here now, I can be working from other views while viewing it from here. So that is what I'm going to do. I'll just come over here and convert it to the table poly. Okay, and I'm going to move it back. Let me just keep it this way. Right. So I'm going to move it back till this line aligns with what we have over there. I think the line is not, it's a little bit still not straight. Now I'll select this camera and I'll come over here and I'll set it to, in the tilt and shift, automatic vertical tilt. Right. So I can also come over here, use this tool, align, and then align it to make it straight. Okay, I think this is the easiest way you can do this. So you align it, now the boxes are now very straight. Now, what I want to do, G on the keyboard to get rid of this, what I want to do is select this thing and align it to this place. And of course, move this one out till we can't see it again in this view. Right? So this one, I'm going to take it behind the camera. Okay, and here I'm going to move it beyond this place, right? So I'm going to select the top of this and I'm going to move it up. Now we have started modeling proper. I'm going to move it up till we get to this top place where the wall crown started, and I'm going to leave it there. All right. This is the interior of the space. We have done that. Now I want to create this wall opening that we are having right here. That is very simple, and I'm going to show you how you can do that right now. So I will set it to edges. You know, I'm doing poly modeling now. Okay, I converted the box that I created at first, and I turned it into editable poly, like so. So let me show you in case you missed it the first time. Okay, select this, right click, you see convert to editable poly, and that does that for you. Now we have done a reasonable amount of work here. So I'm just going to go ahead and save. I'm going to hit Control S on my keyboard. It is going to come out. So I'm going to save this as interior tutorial. 001. Let's just do it like that. Okay, I'm going to save it. Right. Just in case this image, everything I'm going to use for this class, I'm going to put them in the description, okay? If you are looking for this image that we're using now, you can find it in the description. All the models that I'm going to use, or everything, even the HDRI, the maps, they are all going to be in the description for you to download and follow along with this tutorial. All right. Also, I'm going to put my finished project in the description as well, so you can use it as a way of supporting this channel in case you have been wondering how you can support the channel. All right, so let's move on. So I wanted to create this opening here. It is very simple. I'm going to show you how. So I'm going to select this. I'll set it to edge mode, and then I'm going to use the connect. I'll connect the first one, and I'm going to, you just be looking at it here while you move it from here. And I'm going to move it from this side till I get to where I'm going to. So I can decide to put this thing in pan zoom mode and zoom into this place so I can be seeing what it is that I'm doing while I now move it from here. Okay. So yeah, I think this is it. Now I'm going to select this part. I'm also going to connect it, and then I'm going to move in closely. Okay. I think this is it. Okay. It is much more visible up here than down here. So I will just zoom into this place while I move things around from over here. Now, this thing doesn't have to be 100% accurate. Once you get something really close like this now, you can leave it there. Now, I want to get the top part, so I'm also going to connect it and then move it up to where it is supposed to be. I think from here. Okay, let me just zoom into this place that we're having shadows so we can know the difference between the front part and the inside part. Now, I think that is it. So this is the first thing we need to do. So now, what is the next thing we're going to do? I'm now going to select it, press 4 on my keyboard to put it in polygon selection mode. As you can see, it is in polygon now. I'll just click here and I'm going to delete it. Right. I'm going to delete it, and it has been deleted. So if I should put this thing in default shading mode, you'll see that every other thing is covered except for the part I just deleted. So I'm going to put it back into wireframe mode. All right. The reason why this inside part is black is because the normal of this cube is that, let me just show you. The cube is white outside and then black inside. That is, the normal of the cube is outside. Now, let's just flip it. For the purpose of, I want to show you how to make this black side be outside while the white side comes inside. So I'm just going to click on this modifier list and I'm going to type in normal. Okay. Click on that normal. It is going to flip it for you. Now we have the white part inside. Now, okay, you see flip normals. Now with this, now I can still right click and convert to editable poly to make it permanent. Right. So if I hit F4 on my keyboard, it's going to show me the edges. F3 is a shortcut that takes me into the wireframe mode. Now with this, now we can proceed with the other things that we have to do, which is I want to create a thickness for this wall. There are a lot of ways I can do this, but I want to do it the easiest way possible. And that easiest way possible is to come behind here and draw a box. Right. So let me go ahead and do that. I can decide to apply share modifier, but that is going to introduce some complications to this model. So the box is an easier way for us to do this, trust me. So I'm just going to draw that box over here. It doesn't really matter. Just draw it and raise it up. Okay, and I'm going to convert it to editable poly. That is how we're going to be doing it. I'm going to convert it to editable poly, and I'm going to hit 1 on my keyboard to put it in vertex selection mode. X on my keyboard to turn on the snap toggle. All right. Now, in case this is the first time you're watching my content, this is the settings I use in my snap toggle. Also ensure that in the options, you enable axis constraint. That is going to help you to keep your axis in what, keep the thing you're trying to snap in one axis while you're snapping it, so it doesn't move around, in the way that you don't want it to. Now I'm going to snap this to this surface as well. Okay, that is it. Right. So the next thing I want to do here, it does just leave everything the way they are. The next thing I want to do here is to cut this same opening that I just cut here inside that box. So I'll just select this place, hit the connect button. It is going to connect it. And I'm going to snap this thing into place. Do the same thing over there. Connect it, snap it into place. The same thing, connect, and then snap it into place. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut this opening from that box too. And I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to hit 4 on my keyboard and I select this face. I select this other back face. The next thing I'm going to do is click on bridge. When I click on bridge, it connects, it opens up that place for me. So the next thing I want to do now is to make this box match this place. So I'm going to zoom into this place and I watch it. So I am going to, with the box still selected, put it in vertex mode, turn off the snap toggle for now because I want to move freely. I don't want to snap to anything, and then move it into position. This is where it is supposed to be. Right. Let me look at the top parts. Exactly. That's right about it. Okay. So I'm going to move it out a little bit, like so. As you can see, our angle. When I try to make the target of the camera straight, then maybe that's when this thing got skewed a little bit, right? So, but we're going to leave it like that. It is not the end of the world. Okay, it is not the end of the world. We're going to leave it like that. The important thing is that we are getting what we need to get from here. So I'm just going to put it in vertex selection mode so we can move it in till we get to where we need to get to. I think this is the place. Okay, because the angle is not 100% right, you can see it is now not giving us what we want. But more or less, this is what we are supposed to get. So now that we have done this, we need to delete one face. Okay, now that we have done this, we need to delete one face, but at the moment, we don't need to do anything. Let's just keep modeling. When the surfaces start interfering with each other, we're now going to delete one of the surfaces, and I'll be showing you exactly how to do that so you don't have any issue. So the next thing I want us to do is, go ahead with the modeling. And to do that, I'm going to come over there and I'm going to draw the box that we're going to be using to continue to proceed. Right, so for the moment, I'm going to turn that off. You know what? Let me just leave it on so I can zoom in and be appreciating what I'm doing. So the next thing I want to do now is select this thing and turn it to editable poly so I can do with it whatever I want. Now, I'm going to select the vertex, select this place, and then try and move it into position. Now that I have done. All right, so the next thing I want to do is to make sure that the top are where they're supposed to be. Okay, like so. All right, so I'm going to move this one back. The front part of the line, I'm going to move it to aligns with this line in there. So let me just zoom in and keep my eye on it. Cool. Exactly what I'm talking about. So yes. So the next thing I want to do is drag it out so I can create another segment from there. So I'll use this polygon selection mode and then drag it out till I meet this. S to turn on the snap toggle, hit that place. So yeah, S selection mode, connect, so with this now, right. Now from here, I can also connect. Then with polygon selection mode, I can select this and delete it. And also I can select this. If I don't want to just do this, like cut it open. I want to do it in such a way that hold on a minute. I'm going to create between these two edges. I'm going to use the connect tool to create another edge there. Then raise it up. Then with this now, I can create two edges. So move this one into this place. Hold down Alt, deselect it, and then move this other one to this place. Now I want to create this same opening that we are having here in there. All right, so oh no, I just made a mistake. I shouldn't have deleted this. So with this selected, I'm just going to hold down Shift and then drag it out. When I do that, I can now delete it. Okay, that makes it easier. That makes things easier for me. Now I'm going to go here, select the edge, select this other edge, and then connect it right above the door, just like that. Okay, exactly. And then with this thing selected, I will select this one, click on the settings, right beside the connect, come over here, change this number to 2, and then hit OK. That is going to create 2 lines for me at the same time. Hold down Alt to deselect this so it can go over to this side. Okay, so I'm going to use Keep 4 on my keyboard, select this, and then delete it. Right. Okay, now let's see what we have created. I'm going to very quickly apply a default material to it, 0.6. I'm going to apply this and then close. I'm going to change this to clay material. I'm going to change it to clay view so that you'll be seeing it in clay. So I'm going to turn this off right now. Okay. For the light, because we can't start doing anything without actually, first of all, setting the lights. Okay, so I'm going to come over here and then set the denoiser to this, come to performance, turn this off to none. And then in the scene, I'm going to put it in single maps. Click on it, see Corona bitmap. I'm going to say OK. And I'm going to go over to my downloads in order to select what I need from there. What I want to use is this, the clear of this. So I'm going to say OK, and I'm going to say OK. It is in now. So we're going to proceed. I'm going to bring out my frame buffer, Corona VFB, and I'm going to hit this. I'm going to select this place. All right. And I'm going to open the render setup. And then I'm going to lock it up. Now, no matter what I do, it is going to be rendering that space. Okay. It is that simple. Right. So the next thing I want to do, okay, is to create an opening right here so the light will be entering into this scene. Because as you can see, If I should turn this to wireframe, we can see there is a lot of light coming there, which means there is a window on that part of the space. Okay, so let me go ahead and create. I should have done it before bringing in this light, but I actually forgot. So let me just keep this thing one side for now. All right, so yeah. So I'm going to hit 2 on my keyboard, select it like so, connect. Another one, just like that, connect. So I don't know, I don't even care to know where the light, but then I can just decide to connect it to have like the same headroom as the door. Now I'm going to hit 4 and I'm going to select this face and I'm going to delete it. Now when I do that, as you can see, light came flooding in from this space. Okay, but then I want to quickly make some adjustment to this. Okay, to the source of the light in this scene. So I'm going to come over here, open this up, and then open this one also. That's the material editor, slate material editor. And I'm going to drag this into the material editor as an instance. Okay. And I'm going to, let me close this for now. I will now start making adjustments to this in order to affect what we are seeing inside this space. So I'm going to double click on this. The next thing I want to do is come down here. You'll see rotation. So I'm going to click on the rotation. Let me start by adding 30. No, that's the wrong direction. Let me see minus 30. Okay. But that's not it yet. Minus 60. But it's a step in a good direction. Minus 90. Minus 120. Okay. Minus 90. Okay. First of all, let me increase this. The exposure. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. All right, so let me just go ahead and okay. I don't want this direct sunlight into the space. I just want to have like an ambient light. So I'm trying to direct it out. Yeah. So now we can increase the exposure to get the light in. Okay, to get the light in. As we go on in this video and we are making adjustments, we might find out that we actually need to make, this thing brighter. But for now, let me just keep it here for the sake of my mental health. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. So the next thing I want us to do, because now we are kind of done with light, is to very quickly work on the tone mapping. Okay, so I'm just gonna, for this one, I'm going to make it this. For this, should I turn it off totally? No, let me just reduce it. It's not gonna hurt to still have it around. I don't really have any color here and desaturating, so I'm just gonna just leave it here for now. If we need to touch it tomorrow, later on, we're going to touch it. For the purpose of, I want this to give us a warm out look, but not too much warmness. but not too much warmth. Just reduce it and then do the rest from here. Right, so the next I want to add vignette here. Okay, it's always good to have it. It gives the viewer, a thing or two to concentrate on. So right, good. So that's it for now. The next thing I want us to work on is the cornices. Like when you take a look at it, you see we have all these wall moldings going on and on around here. We're going to do just that. But before that, let me go ahead and model this thing that we're having here. This. Let me go ahead and add it so that we can proceed and move from there. I'm just going to come over here and I'm going to, let me put this in. Let me just first of all draw a box there. Then later we're going to work it out. Good. So wireframe. Okay, so I'm going to bring it down. In fact, let me convert it to editable poly from here. Convert to editable poly, and then I'm going to use this and bring it down to where it is supposed to be. Yeah. Let me go in again and take a good look at it. Okay, that's just right about it. Cool. So I'm just, yeah. Let's see what that is going to give us. Okay. So the next thing I want us to do is the wall, like I said before, the wall moldings. Okay. To do this thing is actually going to be very easy, and I'm going to show you how it is going to be very easy. First and foremost, this is how we're going to do it. I'm going to turn this thing to, okay, and I'm going to like default shading or clear, whatever. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to select a rectangle. But before I start drawing that rectangle, I'll click on auto grid, okay, and then draw the rectangle, just like so. Just leave it like that. Then turn off auto grid. And then with the rectangle still selected, right click and convert it to editable spline. Okay, and change this thing back to wireframe mode. Now with this, we are able to make adjustment to this. So I'm going to select the vertex and I'm going to move it to where it is supposed to be. Now I'm going to use pan zoom mode once again, and I'm going to zoom in so I can just get the edge. I want this thing to be at the edges. So for the down part, I'm going to just like so. Exactly. So because that part is not showing, you can take it as far as you want, right? I'm going to select this and I'm going to move it down to this place. Copy. And then I'm going to use that same vertex mode and I'm going to like move it up. Now I'm going to select these two things and I'm going to move it to this other side as a copy. Then I'm going to position them very well where they are supposed to be. Now this is meant to be a little bit longer than it is, so I'm going to just do it, make it correct. So I'm just going to make the corrections. So I'll move it down to this place. So I'm just going to select this one and delete it. There's no need to stress myself trying to get it right over there. Then now I'm going to move this one like so. Cool. Exactly. Yeah. So for this one over here, how am I going to do it? I'm going to show you a very simple way of doing this so you don't have to stress yourself. So I am going to use the edge selection mode, and I'm going to select the edges of this opening. I hope that is it. Hold on a minute. Let me go and confirm that I'm selecting what I want to select. Yeah, so all of them are in the same surface. So yeah, that's it. And I'm going to come down here. You're going to see create shape from selection, and I'm going to select it. Make sure you set it to linear. Otherwise, it's going to try to make the lines smooth for you, and you don't want that. So set it to linear and then say OK. Now, when you do that, you have a line over there. Right. So for now, let's just leave it at that for now. All right. So the next thing we need to do is use sweep profile. And we are going to, first and foremost, this is where you can get sweep profile from. I'm going to put the link in the description for you so you can easily, come over here and get it. Okay, you get it, you get the plugin. Okay, that's the script. And also you get these additional moldings mega bundles because that's what I'm using. All right, so the link will be in the description so that you'll be able to get it. So to create the molding on the wall, you just have to select the lines that we just created and then select whatever you want. Okay, to do this, I'm going to start with let's start with the door. Okay, the door molding. So I'm going to select it. Okay. Now I'm going to find the one that is going to be most appropriate. All right. So I'm going to go over to casing part 1 and I'm going to choose which one. Let me make this thing big so I'll be seeing it properly. I think this one won't be bad. This. So what happens when I click it? Once I click it, it enters into position like so. But this is looking rather small. As you can see, it is kind of small. Okay. And also, as you can see, it didn't come out the way we want it to come out. It came out very badly. That means I just have to redraw this line. Okay, I'm just going to select this and I'm going to delete it. I'll use the rectangle to turn on the auto grid. This is another way you can do this. Okay, so I'm doing it now. So I'll stop this, turn off the auto grid, change it to move to, right click and turn it to editable spline. Okay, things like this happen. Sometimes when you create a line the way we created it, it will just, turn the sweep in the direction that we don't want it to turn it. This is the remedy for that when something like that happens. So I'll just select this. Okay. Turn on snap toggle so I can be able to snap where I need to. All right. And then the same thing for this side too. So for this place now, I have to just snap it here. Then I'll select segment, select this part, and then have it deleted. Now with this now, I can go ahead and apply what I want to apply. So this is the one I wanted to use before. Now when I select it, you find out that it is facing the right direction now, just like we want it. But then there's another issue. It is on the inside part. As you can see, this is where the wall started. Let me just move it out a bit. Sometimes it's difficult to select it. You'll be selecting it, you'll be deselecting itself. Just do window selection. Click and drag. Then you hold Alt and deselect the things that you don't want to select. Now only it is selected. All right, so I'll just move it out a little bit so I can explain. You can see where it is now. It is at the edge. we want it to be above that opening, not inside the opening. So with it selected, you come over to the modify tab. Okay, when you come over to the modify tab, you come down here to the pivot alignment. You click here. When you click there, it is going to raise it up for you. Now, this is good, but I want it to be, bigger. It is actually quite small now. So to make it bigger, I just open the sweep profile dialog box. Come over here in the length. I want to type 50 here, and then over here I want to type 120. You see, that's actually made it bigger while still adhering to the alignment that we just gave it. That's very wonderful. So that's it for this particular one. All right. So the next one is this. Okay. Basically, this, and this, all four of them are going to be exactly the same type of profile. So I'll just select one of it and then do it. Then when I get it right, I can now take that same settings and apply it, copy it and paste it, all over the place. Right. So I'm just going to, with it selected now, I'm going to open sweep profile and I'm going to find what I'm looking for. So I'm going to go over to the handrail section over here and I'm going to use, I think this one is good. I just want something simple that, okay, maybe this, it doesn't really matter. I can use whatever you want. All right. So to be sure that what we are doing is what we actually want to do, I'll just, okay, this is it. Let me go over to the top view and see where it is on the plan. So you can see that it is actually low on plan. So I'm going to shift it out a little bit. This one is already where it is meant to be. So I'm just going to start interactive rendering and see what we have. All right. As you can see, it is not looking bad at all. Let me see where it is with the image that we brought in. Okay, cool. Exactly. This is not bad at all. So I'm just going to copy this sweep, copy it, select this, and paste it. Okay. When I do that, it worked, but then it is still inside the wall. So I just have to bring it out. Right? So the same thing is what I'll do there. In fact, I think it is even better for me if I just copy the both of them and move them. But then I already adjusted it. So I'll just select this one, paste it there. Same goes for this. Paste it. So now I'm going to move it out to where they're supposed to be. So it is selected. Hold on a minute. Let me just shift this into this other screen. You will see I want to move it at the x-axis. This is the x-axis. So I'll just select this and then come over here. Just impute this figure inside there and that will take it where it needs to be. The same thing over here as well. Hit enter. And then when I bring this in out again, you're going to see we have, okay, we have the wall paneling that we want. Right. So what is the next thing I want us to do? The next thing I want us to do is to add this particular one that is supposed to be in here. There's a paneling. You can see it here in the middle. We're going to add it. So let me just go ahead and start it. So I'm just going to come over here. Let me draw a line. Auto grid. Okay. Right. So let me just go ahead and make some adjustment to this line that I just drew. Now open the sweep right back. We'll have to use casing again. So I think something in casing might be interesting. Let me open the part 4. I think this won't be bad. So I'll just select that one. Let's see how it is showing here. Let me just okay. So I just have to move it down here so that it will be balanced in the middle. Good. Very good. So I will now have to like shift it into this place. Try to just connect. And there you have it. We are good to go. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Just like that. This is about to start coming out. So I'll just move it in a little bit more so that I'll have that clear, clean space. Okay. All right, cool. So the next thing I want to do is take this thing and copy it over here. Just as simple as that. Don't need to come and start stressing again. So as you can see, we have it. Hold on a minute. We have it over here. And it's looking not bad. Okay? That's great. All right, so the next thing I want us to do, you see there's this designery stuff that is above here. I'm going to get my own. It may not be exactly the same. Nothing that we have done here is exactly the same thing. We're just getting an idea from what, was done in the image that we're using. So I want to put something on top of there and then do this workaround that we have on top of this place with this design that is underneath. Then I can now copy it around where I need to copy it to. So let me just go ahead and get in something like this. Now, this is the exact model I'm going to be using, the one on top. So I'm going to download it, copy it out, and then bring it into 3ds Max. So I also put the link in the description so that you can get it for free. You don't have to pay anything for this. All right, so I'm just going to minimize this so I can bring it in. All right, so I brought it in. Let me just go ahead and place it where it is meant to be. All right. Okay. Okay. Move it down. All right, so yeah. Okay, so now we have done this. The next thing I want us to do is the wall crown, the thing that is going to be above there. So how I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the plan view. Okay, and I'm going to draw a line, right? I'm going to draw a line. Hold on a minute. Yes, I'm going to draw a line. But first, let me just select this and move it down. Okay. Yep. So I want the line to be like this. So I'm going to draw a line. Stop this from this angle so that when I do what I want to do, it is going to align properly to it. So I'm just going to draw it like this and stop it. Okay. And then move it down this way and that way. And now I'm going to come over to this view and I'm going to move this line. In fact, before I even move it, let me apply my crown to it, the crown that I want to use, the wall crown that I want to use to it. So, Sweep Pro, and I'm going to go over to crowns. Okay, and I'm going to select, which one am I going to select? I'm going to select this one now. Now, when I select that, it's all good and fine, but the problem with this is that it is actually facing After all I did to ensure that it faces the right way, it is facing the wrong way. But that's not a big deal. I can mirror it into position, as you have seen. So I've mirrored that one into position, and now say, okay. Okay, let me now use the image to know how well to scale it. Now I'm going to do pan zoom or W to make it big. All right. So I'm going to raise it up. You can see we have all the space to fill by this. Now I'm going to leave it and then come over to this view. Use FFD 4x4x4 modifier. Okay, if you don't have it there, you can just come in here and type FF, not FDD. FFD, you're going to see all of them. So select this one. This is the one I want to use. Then you drop it down, use the control panel, control points, then move it up. Just use your eyeballs to get like equal distances from each other. All right, get the equal distances from each other. And while looking at it here, to know when you have gotten where you need to get to. I think this is where, all right, this is it. Don't worry, we're going to adjust the other ones to get it into something that is proportionate. All right. Great. So yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is where I stopped. I can as well add something else underneath, or I can just carry on with what I'm, but then I am going to see what I've just done looks like. Okay, and this is how I do that. So it is there. It is actually there. Let me see. It is there. Okay. So I'll just to add contrast to it. Okay. That's okay. So yeah, let me quickly take a look at the other side. Right? So I can choose to follow this thing exactly the way they did it, which I can do. It's just for me to draw another line, but then I just want to wrap this thing up as quickly as possible. Right? So I'm just going to select this. And I'm going to drag it down, move it down, hold down shift and move it down. That will duplicate it. When I duplicate it, I'm going to delete all this. And then I'm going to apply the extrude modifier to it. Add like 150. Hold on a minute. I'm not seeing anything. Oh, it's segment that I added. I'm going to make this 150. Oh, it's lying down. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate it. And 150 is too much, as you can see. So I'm going to rotate it into position. But before I do that, I'll hit A on the keyboard to turn on this angle snap toggle. So it becomes easy for me to snap it into position. Right. So I'm going to, from here, I'm going to use this to move it down. to where I want it to be, which is this place. It has been moved down, and I'm going to select this and call it, and convert it to editable poly. Then snap this into position. Good. So the next thing I want to do now is to select the two parts, like these two edges down here. Select this place and select this place, and then use the connection to connect to, click on connect, and then move it into the appropriate position. This one too, I'm going to move it into its right position. Then I'm going to select the two of them, and I'm going to bring out the settings for this connection. First of all, I'm going to type 300 in there. Okay, is that enough? 310. So I'm going to say okay. Now with it still selected, I'm going to create an opening, and to do that, I'm going to use chamfer. Okay. I'm going to use chamfer, and I'm going to click here, then start dragging it apart. All right. Drag it some more. As you can see, it is what I'm doing is evident here. You can see it there. Okay. I think that's okay now, and I'll say okay. Good. So yeah, I'm now going to select everything and apply the shell modifier to it. That's going to add some thickness to what I've just done. As you can see, it has added thickness to it. Okay, so I'm going to add, is it the inner now? Okay, yeah, to the outer amount I'm going to add. But just like this, like that. So now I'm going to move this into position. Okay, I'm going to move it into position. Then I'm going to convert it to right click, convert to editable poly, and then select this place with the help of move to, hold on a minute. I'm going to stop this so I can concentrate. Okay. Okay, the shell apparently is doing something to it that we don't want. So what are we going to do now? We're going to do it the good old-fashioned way. So I'm going to select it from here. And I'm going to, first of all, let me detach it. Because I can. Detach it. And that has divided it and separated it from this other one. Now I can apply the shell modifier to this. I need to add thickness to it. No questions asked. As you can see, for this, I can also apply a shell modifier to it separately. And then add to the thickness till it reaches the wall and pass it even. Then I will select this, turn off this, and then move it to the wall. Now I'm going to apply chamfer modifier to it. I need to adjust this in a way that is going to make sense. Good. It makes sense. So I'm going to copy this chamfer modifier. In fact, let me just do just one tiny bit of setting down here. And then you just do chamfer, the chamfers only, not the entire object. So I'll select this. This is posing to be a huge challenge for some reason. So I'm going to just delete that stuff. And draw my own box. Into position. Now I'm going to just select this and convert it to editable poly. The same goes for this. I'm going to move it like so, the way I moved the first one. And then drop it right above here. Cool. So I'm going to just select it here and move it down. The same thing I'm going to do for this side. Good. And I'm going to apply the chamfer modifier to this side as well. Over here, I'm going to make sure that it is, yeah, cool. So let me see what we've got right now. What is going on? Cool. Let me just zoom in out. Cool. Exactly. So I'm just going to take this behind because we're supposed to have it above that wall. So I'm going to select this and I'm going to group all of them together. Okay, I'm going to put it in the top view mode and then hold down shift to copy it as a copy into position. But then for some reason, that side is higher than this side. So I'm just going to take it up to where it is supposed to be. No questions asked. Right? Okay, so I'm going to duplicate it again. This time around, I'm going to rotate it to 90 degrees. And I'm going to move it into position. Like so. All right. So yeah, basically the modeling is done, right? So I'm going to, you can see I'm doing the modeling and at the same time I'm doing the render. So I don't know, I'm working with light and modeling at the same time. You can do that, right? So the next thing I'm going to do now is to just add the wall, the floor base, okay, the wall skirting, no matter what you call it. So I'm going to use line now. Okay, just stop this. I'm going to use line and I'm going to trace out the place where it's supposed to be, which is this place. So I'll draw it like so. It's just going to be straight, so I'm going to make it straight. Leave that one there. So for this one, I'm just going to draw this one like this, like that, and like this. Now, the reason why I'm doing it like this is not because I don't know where the walls are. It's just that I want to select the boxes where they're supposed to be in, and then I select only them. So that way I just do it once and for all. So I'll just keep it this way. Hit one on the keyboard. That will put me in the vertex mode, and then I will snap them into place. Now, when I start adding the sweep modifier that I'm going to use on them, if they require that I take them, if they require that I bring them out of the wall, then I will make the adjustments that are suited, that are needed when they are needed. Okay. So I'm just going to snap this one to that place. All right. So I'm gonna select. Hold on a minute. I'm gonna select this one. I'm going to use Sweep Pro. Okay, and I'm going to go to I think I should have floor base here. You can see baseboard over here. Just select anyone, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to select the one that will give me, so much drama. For now, the one I'm seeing is this. So I'm just going to click on that one. As I clicked on it, you can see it is over here. So what do I do now? It is facing the wrong direction. So I'll just come over here. You will see flip mirror on X and Z axis. Okay. When I click on it, you see it mirrored it to the appropriate side. So I'm just going to copy this now. And I'm going to paste it here. Okay, cool. It is not facing the right direction now. So I'm just going to turn this off so that it will now face the right direction. So with it being like this now, I'm going to select it and I'm going to use the move tool and move it up where it is meant to be. The same thing applies to this. Cool. So yeah. All right. So let me just see. Have I brought back everything? Let me just bring them back. Cool. So let me just see what I have. Okay. It is not bad. Not at all. But I think the baseboard, let me see. Okay, I want it to be taller than it is now. So I'll open this and then I'm going to increase the height from here. Let me see which one is which one. Okay, that's it. That's how you increase the height. So I'm going to make this 120, by the way. Yeah. So from here now, I can now raise this thing higher to where they're supposed to be. I just want it to be higher for no reason. Okay, so that it will match what I've got going on. All right, so the same thing I'm going to do over here. Okay, I'm just going to select this part and make it 120. Okay, I'm going to close this now. And I'm going to move this up. So yeah, that's basically it for the modeling. Now I'm going to, no, that's not actually, I have to model the floor. The floor generator, I'm going to create this parquet floor that we are having. So I'm just going to select this now and delete it. I don't think we don't need it anymore. It has done its part. Now it's left for us to do ours. But in the meantime, I'm feeling like the ceiling, just a little bit, has a dark undertone to it. So to solve this problem, there's something that we can try. We can use the plane. We can create a plane, as you can see. Once we drew that plane, it added some lightness to it. Okay. See what it is like without the plane. I'm going to hide this now. You see how it is now? Now look at what it is with the plane. So I'm going to take it down a little bit more, or bring it up just a little bit. Now I want it to bring in this warmth. This warmth in the space. So I'm going to create a special material for it, and I'm going to okay, so I'm not seeing anything. Why am I not seeing anything? Oh, yeah, that's because I've not applied it. Oh, that's my bad. So, yeah, so I was wondering what is going on? All right, so now to the floor. It's very simple. What I'm going to do here, I'm just going to, let me select this thing now. Select it and remove the segments. Okay. Maybe even turn it to editable poly, so I can easily move it to where I want from here without having to go in anywhere. So yeah, the next thing I want to do is just to trace out the lines, right? So I will just the floor distance. So I will just close this. So I will just hold down shift to maintain straight lines. It doesn't have to be accurate. You just have to, as far as your eyes can see. Okay, so the line is done. So it's time for us to apply the floor generator on it. So what I'm going to do is come over here and type floor generator. Floor generator is an add-on, or you can call it a plugin that you can get from CG Source. Okay, I'm going to put the link to that in the description as well. So you go there, you download it. The one we are going to use is not the free version. Today we are going to be using Herringbone. Herringbone is a paid version. It's the one that comes with the paid version. So you might want to do that. Okay. This plugin, I assure you, is worth it. It makes your life so much easier when it comes to modeling floor and all different kinds. You can see if you drop it down, you see other floor patterns down there. All right. So for the length, I'm going to add 1.5 in there. For the width, I'm going to add 300. All right, so let's take a look at it from this point of view and see what it looks like. All right, it is looking kinda. First of all, let me change this into 200 and see what it looks like. 150. Sorry, 150. I think this is not bad now. Instead of this, I'm going to make this 1.2. Cool. So in the direction, I'm going to add 90 here. That is going to flip the stuff. What is it called again? That is going to flip the direction of the parquet to this other side, as you can see. Okay. So I'm just going to bring this thing down. Okay, it's actually low where it's supposed to be. So I'm going to add some thickness to this by adding 8 here and here. I'm going to add 2, making it 10 millimeter, Okay, so I am going to bring it down so that everything flushes as they are meant to. Cool. So the next thing I want to do is select this box, select everything underneath it, and put it here. Same goes for here as well. All right, let's see. Okay. Now the box. Don't forget we added the box behind. Let me see if that is what is giving us this problem. Okay, as you can see, the truth is we don't even need that box to have that down part. So what we are going to do is we are going to select everything and then we're going to just drag it down. Drag it down. Yeah. Something is all right over here. All right, so let me just, with this still selected, I'm going to increase the wideness of the grout. I'm going to make it like 0.5. You can see that the floor there is showing. It is just that the shadow is not, the shadow is part of what is making this side show the way they are showing. Okay, so with this selected, I'm actually going to duplicate a material. This material is what I'm going to be using. Hold on a minute. I'm going to apply this to it. Okay. So you can see that when I made the wall dark a little bit, it affected the lighting of the space. Okay, so I'm going to make it darker even more. So more or less, this is the color that the floor is going to have. As you can see, it is really affecting the right. So it is not, let me just bring it out. Yeah. So it is going to be something like this, right? This is the color of the floor, give or take. So I'm going to just leave it like that for now. And then, is there anything else that is remaining? Any constant? No, there is actually nothing else. So yeah, we got this. So the next thing I want us to do now is apply to detail this material. So I'm going to make it more glossy than it is right now, because I want it to be a very glossy looking material. But with time, when we start applying other maps that we need to apply, it is going to actually affect the way this glossiness is appearing. So just stick with me. All right, so I'm just going to, let me just stop this for now. Let me go and import the materials I need to import. So for the purpose of this, I'm going to be using Corona multi-map. So go to maps, go to Corona, you're going to see Corona multi-map. So this one, I'm going to click on batch load textures. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to select this, and we're going to be using all of them. And I'm going to open. So that is going to bring in all these maps that we need to use for us. So what we are going to do as far as this goes in the setting is to turn on all these things. Okay, we're going to turn them on, except the tile ID and the primitive ID, turn them on, right? And then I'm going to Let me turn this on so that when I move one, all of them moves. First of all, we are going to start work with the glossiness. Okay, we need to get it right. So the first thing I want us to do is work on the reflection. And for that, we are going to be using two maps in between. The first one is the color correction map. Under map in the general, you're going to see the color correction map. Okay, that's the first one. So I'm going to pass this one through here. Hold on a minute. Yeah. So the other one is the fall off. Under that in general, you're going to see fall off. What I'm going to do to this one is I'm going to change this to invert, and I'm going to turn the saturation. I'm going to take it down to black and white. Okay, I'm going to invert it so that the bumps, the reflection is going to be in the right positions. Okay, so I'm going to put this one on the lower side while I take this straight up to the top part. Okay, and then I'm going to take this and I'm going to plug it right into the reflective color. Okay, so when I do that, you notice, let me even start this interactive render so you'll be seeing what is going on. You notice that the reflection reduced a little bit. It became a little bit realistic, so to say. Now, what am I going to do next? I am going to come in here so I can work on these things. Now, the IR is kind of high, so I'm going to reduce it a little bit. Okay. This is not bad. All right. Come on, I have to make this in 0.8 based on what I'm seeing here. I will have to zoom into this so I'll be seeing what I'm doing. But you know what? To even appreciate the thing I'm doing properly, hold on a minute. I'm not even. Let me just zoom in a little bit here. And then I'm going to open this and then the render setup, go over to the render element. I want to add the reflection. Okay. You see reflect over here and I'm going to say, okay. All right. Close it for now. Stop and restart. Now you can see it in here. You can see exactly what you are dealing with in here. Right. You can see that there are different patterns to this reflection that you're dealing with over here. So for now, I'm going to turn it to beauty. Let's keep working. I'm not even done with this. The fall off. I still have some work to do there. And also this gamma, I need to adjust the gamma. So you come over here in the advanced, I want to make it brighter. So I'm going to make it 3. All right. So it is going to make, you can see now the reflection that we are having is now becoming a little bit realistic to wood, even though we cranked it up over there. So for here, so let's just reduce the place where the color is. So I think it's okay right like this. Now for the mist curve, I'm just going to come in the middle, add a point, right click, turn it to bezier smooth. Just select it here and drag it. Maybe raise it up a little bit. This helps in the blending of these two things properly. So yeah, that's that for this particular one. I'm thinking it's killing the reflection a little bit more. So I'm just going to come down here to the map and reduce the opacity of that reflection. Okay, so let me see what it looks like at 0. I see a lot more reflection showing up. So just add it a little bit. I'm gonna stop this. Okay, so all right, so let's do the one for the glossiness map. All right. So I'm going to bring out, you know what, let me just use this one that I've already used here. Just drag it down. Okay. Just want to drag only this one this time around. And I'm going to plug it to the reflective gloss. Okay, so what I just need to do here in the reflective gloss is turn it to monochrome, first and foremost. And then for the hue, I haven't. And because I turned this to monochrome, it does no point desaturating it again. So it is still cool. Let me just bring this thing back a little bit. All right. So the next thing I want to do is in the gamma, I want to increase this one even further. So I'm going to make it 5 or thereabouts. Okay. Just going to come over here and then in the opacity, just cut it down to half or something. Yeah. All right. Now let me now go over and add this to the, hold on a minute. Add it to the diffuse. As you can see, this is what we're getting. All right. You don't even need to do any sort of mapping. As you can see, we need to still shift this thing inward because where it is not really working out. So I'm just going to select that. It is already selected. So I'm going to select the line, the vertices, and I'm going to select these two vertex over here and over here, and then move it. And then move it. Cool. It's not bad. All right, so I'm just going to come out of this pan zoom in. Let's see what we are having. Okay, so you can see we are having, not just different kinds of parquet. We are having different woods. We are having them in different colors and different patterns all over the place, which is exactly what we are going for. Okay, so the next thing I want us to work on the walls. All right, the walls, I want to have this type of material where when you look at it carefully, you're going to be seeing the ceilings. You're going to be seeing the cement pattern, the way they finished it, that kind of stuff. Not just something smooth. I want the wall to have a bit of a texture. So to do that, I am going to select everything except this and the floor that we just created, of course. Okay. Don't worry about the camera. The camera will not take the material. So I'm just, this is it. I'm just going to bring this one out over here and apply this material to it. So when I apply this material, what I need to be able to create the material I want to create is the composite material. Okay, this is the composite material. Yeah. So I need Corona colors, 2 of them, and an additional map, a depth map. So I'm going to come over here. This is the depth map that we're going to be using, and I'm going to bring it in. All right, so I need to create one more layer so I can add these 2 colors. So I'll add this one here, add that one here, then I'll add this other one in the layer mask. The depth map is going to go into the layer mask. Now, all of this, I'm going to plug them inside here. Okay. Right. So what I'm going to do is, wait, hold on a minute. All right, apply. Yeah, I have. Is now to select this. When I select this, I will now say, okay, show me this when I look in the viewport. Now come over here and change it to right. So when I now look here, this is what I'm going to be seeing. So I'm going to, with it selected, let me select it again. I'm going to apply UVW map. All right. So I'm just going to take what I have here, copy this, and I'm going to paste it here. And I'm going to also paste this one here. The same thing on that interior part. Let me just take this. I'll just copy this so I can paste it all over the place. Now for this, I want this color to be 200, not that bright. For this one, I just want this one to be 150. That way we have a clear discrepancy between the both of them. Okay, so what's going on there? Okay, it's a group actually. It is a group. So what I can do for this group is, let me see if this is going to work on it. If I should just paste it. It actually did. Thank you, Jesus. So I'm just going to paste this here, select this one, and then paste it over there. These two, paste it over there. Okay. Now it has a lot of object in there that is trying to apply all these things to, so I'm just going to give it some time. All right, for this one, I'm just going to paste this one too. Paste. Okay, or you can just choose to make these wall moldings plain. It all depends on what you want to do. Okay, whatever feels nice to you, you can do. There's no special material. I just feel like adding texture to, increase the drama of the space. So now I'm going to, yeah. So that's it. That's basically it. So the next thing I want to do is bring in the furnitures that are supposed to be here. Okay, all the furnitures, like I said, all the furnitures that I use in this scene, I'm going to attach a link for you to be able to download them in the description. As you can see, when you look closely to this wall, you're going to see, some patterns going on there. Now, when I finish this thing, I might not like the way they are looking. I will keep making adjustments till I get something that I'm okay with. I think I might just, at this point, select the target, raise it up a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Or you know what? I will leave it the way it is. When I bring in the furniture and do that, if it makes sense to me, then I might just leave it. So for now, let me just leave it the way it is. All right. So I think what I might end up just applying a simple material to that top place. Okay. Now, I'm combining two materials. Now I'm just going to get one. I'll just use this one and apply this one to all of them. And now I'm going to just keep it something like this, between 100 and 180. Yeah, not bad. I'm going to leave it that way. Cool. So yeah, so it is time for me to bring in the furniture. I'm going to bring in a wall art. As you can see, let me just show you what we are going to do over here. Wireframe. I'm going to bring in a wall art. I'm going to bring in table, coffee, plant, 2 wall arts, the second wall art, and then this light that is dropping down from the ceiling, then the dining table with a light behind that dining table. So let's go ahead and bring all those things out. Okay. You just have to download them and drag the 3ds Max file into this place. That's all. That's just basically it. You don't have to do much. So I'm just going to bring everything in and then position them. Then we can continue with what it is that we're doing. So I am done. I'm bringing in the furnitures and models that I want to use. Like I said, all these files, all the models are going to be available in the description. So do well to check them out and download them. Okay. Cool. Let me just one final touch-ups. Oh, okay. So I'm just going to group this thing together, and I'm going to apply FFD modifier to it and then do a little bit of squishing. This is me just trying to match what we have in the image. All right. So let's see. Oh, okay. I'm just going to bring everything back, just like so. Cool. So they're back. All right. I'm just going to turn this on and then quickly add the bloom, reduce this into 0.2. All right. I think that's basically it. For the, I don't even really need, but if I'll just come over here and type in 3, and that solves it. Let me move this. All right. So yeah, so when you take a look at the image that we're trying to recreate, you'd find out that we, if not for the fact that we do not have all the models. We tried a little bit to recreate them. And now you see that the table that I used is not a straight table. That doesn't really matter. What matters is that you get the idea that there is a table in front. Just minimize this. And then rotate this into position and move it to where it is meant to be. Okay. All right, so let's see. Exactly, that's not bad at all. So what I want to do now is I want to move the table and the content of the table a little bit to one side. May not be exactly the way it is, done in this, but that's the way I want it to be. I want it to be a little bit and a little bit towards that, sofa. Oh, okay, that's a little bit too close. Let's just keep it here. And then come here, also some more. We're going to use image comp helper to try and get the best. Okay. All right, so the next thing I want us to do, because this material here, okay, the plaster effect that we want to add is actually looking very, very pronounced. Okay, when you render it, it's going to make it to be too pronounced. So what do we now do about that? Yeah, I'm just going to keep this in one side. Let me open the material editor, double click here. All right, now go down to the map area. I'm going to reduce this thing to like 40%. Okay, so that way it is there, but it is way reduced in a way that it is not going to look like the interior wasn't plastered at all. But when you look at it closely, you're going to see the effect showing up in there. All right, so when you do that, that solves that problem for you. Maybe 40 is a bit too low. Maybe we can make it 60. Yeah, so something like that. 60. Now moving on. Okay, is there anything else I'm forgetting? No, there isn't. So I'm going to stop this now, and we're going to go ahead and do render setup very quickly. All right, so to do that, I'm just going to come over here to render setup and turn this off now. And then over here, I'm just going to type in 3000. You can type in more than that, depending on what you want to do. And I'm going to quickly change this to Corona High Quality. For final renders, I recommend Corona High Quality. That's the best, denoiser to use when it comes to final rendering. It is going to give you the best results. All right, so And that's basically it. There's nothing else you have to do in here. You just have to come out here, bring out your frame buffer, and then hit render. Okay, so I'm going to do just that. When I hit render, before I even hit render, let me quickly see if there's anything I would want to. I will just come over here and add to add more, then tint it a little bit. Yeah, I think that's okay now. I have to add this some more. Reduce it a little bit. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think I am finally good to go. I'm going to just render this stuff right now. Okay, and that is it. So I'm going to hit render. So I'm going to see you when the render is done. Okay, so that I'm going to see you when the render is done so that we can go ahead and save this file out. I'll show you how to save out. All right, so see you then. All right, so I'm satisfied with the render, what we are getting already. So I'm just going to stop it. Okay, so now stopping it is in 2 layers. I can just click here straight, and then that is going to activate the interactive render, or I can just click here and click on cancel. Okay, that is going to stop everything altogether, and there will be no interactive render. So I'm going to click here once because I need the interactive render to kick in. All right. Now we'll wait for the denoiser to kick in. You can see it's already denoising. All right, so the denoising is done. Okay, so what we need to do now is save out this file. All right. So to save out the file, we just click on this icon here. This is a save icon. So you click on it. It brings out this dialog box with which you now select the area you want to save your file to. Okay, so I'm just going to name this thing interior render. There's the one. Then for the format, this is where I select the format of the image you want to save. Okay, I'm going to set it to PNG, and then you can leave it at automatic, right? Or you can do override, but automatic is still okay. So I'm going to, automatic is like to set the gamma. The gamma is what will determine how light or how saturated your image would be. That's me trying to explain it to you in a very, very short way. So I'm just going to click on save, okay? Put it in the middle. That's a 281 trillion RGB 48-bit. Make sure that your alpha channel is not checked on. Check it off if it is, and then leave interlaced on, or you can leave it off. Say okay. All right. Cool. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a like, and if you are new to this channel, consider subscribing. Not only subscribing, ring the notification bell so you get notified each time I post a new video on this channel. Thank you very much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.